Recording, perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and very privileged to be on this weekly training call with our community every Saturday morning for years now, in conjunction with my partners, Diana Hunter and Gary Knapp, who you've just seen. And, you know, God bless you, Ty, for always saying yes when I'm seeking out for people to share their expertise and knowledge and inspiration with our great Manotick family and community. So I'm going to ask a special favor. Sorry, someone's just saying. So people are somehow getting a message that they're waiting for the webinar to start. So for those of you that have made it on, if that ever happens for you, the best thing to do is just to log out of Zoom and log back in, because sometimes it just stalls for random reasons. So anyway, Ty, thank you so very much for being here. And you know, for those of you listening, I have the opportunity to listen to Ty almost every week. And I always take away something that's new and that I can implement into my business and my activity with Manotick. If you haven't met him before, Ty is an internet entrepreneur. He's an author and a work-at-home dad who lives in Seattle, Washington with his wife, Rochelle, and 2 children, Emma and Tyler. Ty has been featured in Entrepreneur and Success from Home magazine and is considered by many as the founding father of network marketing bloggers. He's the author of the book, Double Your Income with Network Marketing. He teaches lead generation strategies through social media and blogging to tens of thousands of network marketers around the world. You may remember him from the social, mobile, global trainings with Manotick, and they can be found online to go back and refresh your knowledge base. Ty partnered with James Hannon a few years ago, and he's embraced the Manotick community as his own. If you want to keep your business growing and have a great holiday season at the same time, this is the place to be this morning. And we acknowledge everybody here so far. So Ty, I know that you're perfectly positioned to coach us on this, to continue to move our business forward and not have it be a burden over the holiday season.
Well, awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you for the warm welcome. I'm going to have to update my bio. Recently shuttled out one of my children from the nest. She's now married and lives in her own house. So, but of course, I'm going to work on that house later this afternoon, which is always interesting. That somehow I'm still involved. But anyways, as a dad should be. But so today's topic I'm really incredibly excited about, because I feel like a lot of people tend to want to, or for whatever reason, shut down over the holidays, over December, January, or even into November. And the first thing I would say about that is that, you know, in the U.S. we've got Thanksgiving in November, which is an extended kind of 4-day holiday. And I would say, you know, same thing with Halloween. We have this Halloween, October 31st, which people tend to extend a 1-day holiday into like a whole entire month. So in the US, we have the month of Halloween, we have the month of Thanksgiving, and then we have the month of Christmas, right? And then of course New Year's. So you get this week-long holiday thing, and which I firmly believe in taking time and enjoying the fruits of your labor and even shutting down for a handful of days. But if you are actively like pursuing your business in a big way, you want to make Manotick your full-time income, you want to, you know, double or triple your business, I'm going to recommend that you take things in a little bit different way. And I wrote down 6 or 7 things, you know, like points that I want to go over. And I didn't really put them in any specific order. I think it can be like mixed and match. It doesn't really have to be in a particular order, but so I'll just run through them. And I think these are things that are going to help you in a big way. Number one, you know, decide to make this season your most productive ever. Okay, I mean, I've done this at least 4 times, maybe 5 over my network marketing career, where I've just made a decision to have the very best month ever be that month of December. And, not discounting November, which is a big month here we're heading into. But what happened is that when I put that mentally at the forefront of what I'm doing and followed that mental decision with action, I set records for income and sponsoring and all kinds of stuff in the month of December, just about every single time. And people say, well, you can't sponsor people in December. Well, here's what's cool. There's a lot of people in a lot of network marketing companies who believe that. And so if you are the one or two out there that decide to make a go of it in December, you will set yourself up for so much success in January, but you'll set yourself so apart from the competition in December that you will make a big impact on your business. And so just the decision to make it the most productive ever is number one, the most important thing to do. The second thing is I like to sprint and then enjoy downtime. Okay, so rather than feel like I'm not giving, I think a lot of people feel like maybe they're not giving their business their all. And so they feel like then they shouldn't enjoy themselves in a holiday. And so I'm a kind of person that I'm going to really put the pedal down surrounding those holidays. And again, thinking to myself, okay, so maybe we'll take the month between, or the week between January or Christmas and New Year's off. Fantastic. And a few days around the Thanksgiving holiday, which we have in the US, you guys may have something different. But around those times, I really put the pedal down, probably even more so than I would in other times of the year, because I've just made this decision that, I'm going to grow through the month of December and January when many people do not. And so this idea of, and I call it like rhythm and margin. So you get in a rhythm of really putting in that effort into your business. And then you take margin time where you're not putting in. So let's say there's 3 stages as an example. You have a full sprint, you have a jog, and you have downtime. Okay. So throughout the year, because here's the reality: you can't sprint forever. It's impossible. And those who try to tend to burn out. I did this network marketing thing full bore for 2 months and didn't make any money, and so I'm going to quit, right? And you get those people. Well, the best sprinters in the world are not sprinting for a mile. They're sprinting for 100 yards. Okay, so if you think you're built to sprint this whole way, it's not about a sprint. It is a marathon. But if you intermix sprints in with the marathon, you're going to find that the results you get are amazing. And so I intermix sprints of highly targeted prospecting, okay, where I'm going 10 to 20 contacts a day. And you say, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, but I don't do that like the whole 365 days a year. That would be a lot of contacts, and that would be a lot of actually personally sponsored people. And here's another, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I'm not a believer in sponsoring 20 people in a month. I think can I sponsor 20 people a month, and have I in the past? Yes, I have. And I could. But how do you devote time to those 20 people? It's almost an impossibility, okay? And so I am a big believer in consistently sponsoring new people every single month. 20 is a lot. And to be able to devote the time, I believe, to their success, you're kind of along the lines of just throwing mud in the wall and hoping something sticks. And I don't think that's the kind of company or business that I want to be involved in. I want to be with something that we take the time to educate people about the products, about our culture, and bring them along. I'm not saying babysit, because I am far from a babysitter when it comes to my business. And my personally sponsored people would tell you, oh my gosh, I have to, run them down. Yeah, because I'm busy too, right? I'm busy building my business. I've provided you a lot of great content and stuff and things to help you along. And of course you have my contact information, but I'm moving forward just like you want to move forward. So if you have someone for me to talk to about the business, fantastic. But if you want to, shoot the breeze for 2 hours a day, that's not, meeting about philosophy. That's not what we do, what I do. But you put together these groups of sprints, and say let's say for beginning this week, Monday, for example, and you say, okay, I'm going to do 10 what I call touches a day for the next 7 days, and just see where that takes you. Because what happens is that if you string together a handful of days like that, you're going to get results. I did this on a webinar, and I continued it the following day with I think I did about 5 or 6 text messages the following day. I signed up a new person specifically because of a new product in the US, and I hope it's coming to Australasia. It's an eyelash product, Youth Lash, I think it's called. And the reason it's such a cool product is it's half the price of the leading product in that marketplace. The leading product is actually a prescription product that has some side effects that we don't really want. And our product is all natural and has similar results, and it's half the price. Okay, so I reached out to someone who I know is a network marketer. I know is actually with another company, and she's incredibly interested in what we've got going on. And to the point, so I mean, she's already enrolled, which is awesome. And then she goes, I want to get my leaders in and show them what you showed me. And so just that consistency of a handful of days, you find someone that, I just believe that if you put in the effort, if you put in the work, you get rewarded along the way with something maybe that wasn't expected, right? And it's happened so often. But this idea that you don't like attach any personal mental, what's the word I'm searching for? Like, you don't attach any self-image or the ups and downs of contacting someone. I want you to pull yourself out of those ups and downs and just touch base with people and see how they're doing. I did some examples of some of the things I might say to different types of people on a webinar last week. And it depends on who they are. And obviously, if you're doing this through Facebook Messenger, you can kind of see what's going on in their life and cater each message. I would never be a fan of sending like a direct message that's just like a canned thing to a bunch of people. But I am a big believer in true networking. And so what that means is I'm sifting through people to see if what I have is a solution for them, whether it's product or business, or some people both. Okay. And so, and if you consistently do, it literally takes about 15 minutes on Facebook and text to do 10 touches a day. And you're going to have people in your team and that say, I just don't have time to do anything in my business. Really? It's like 15 minutes. I don't want to be crude, but you could do it from the restroom if you wanted to, right? You could sit down and, and do all kinds of business in one spot, and be extremely productive in time that, everybody gets if you work at a, in a regular traditional job, the vast majority of people, I think they let you eat at those jobs. So, I used to go out to my car and grab a a protein bar or a shake or something like that when I was still employed, and make phone calls from my car over my lunch half hour time. And so being like productive in the time that you have, and it's just a matter of consistency. So those 10 touches a day, I don't care what the results are. You're just reaching out to people. You're just mining, and you're seeing if what you have is a solution. And then if they say, well, I really want to lose weight, before Christmas. Oh, wow. We have something for that, don't we? Oh, I need to make more money in 2019. Oh, we have a solution for that too. People will let you know what they want, need, or desire. If it aligns with what you have to offer at Manatech, then offer it. This is, a lot of people talk about this concept of go for no, and I may have mentioned this before, but this idea that you're just pounding away at your prospects to get 10 no's or a bunch of no's that will lead you to yes. And my belief is I'm not putting my self-image out there until someone relates to me that what I have fills a want, need, or desire for them. Okay. And it's just a funner, more healthy way to build a business, in my opinion. So 10 touches a day. In the holiday season, people are generally in a good mood. Okay. Use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage. They're generally more open. Even the most curmudgeon person in the world, around Christmas time, if you say Merry Christmas, I take it back. There's some people in my area of the town, if you don't say Happy Holidays, they want to take you down. But generally, if you say Merry Christmas to someone, they're going to say Merry Christmas back, right? So take advantage of that, and just be an overall happy person who is excited about what they're doing in life. And you're going to find in general, I'm not saying, again, if you're prospecting in a way that's like, I'd like you to check out my business presentation and my business proposition and that kind of thing, the holidays can be more difficult. But if you're prospecting in a way that's really truly reaching out and networking and just finding out about people and seeing what they're doing, and again, you're reaching in and being sincerely interested in other people. Do you want to have like a massive following on Facebook and social media and things like that? I used to think there was two elements to it. Number one, be interesting, and number two, be interested. And today I would say there's actually only one element to it. Be interested. Because if you're interested in other people and you sincerely ask them about their life and you're sincerely interested in what's going on and how you can be of help to them, you're going to be the most interesting person in the world to other people. It's really an interesting dynamic. It really is pretty wild. There was a guy who was on an airplane, and this is in a book called Influence, and the guy flew with a passenger and made it a point to just ask that passenger about his life. And when they both got off the airplane, they interviewed the guy who the one guy was asking the questions to, and they said, "What did you think about the guy that sat next to you?" He goes, "Oh, that guy was the most interesting person I've ever met in my life. He was so great." He goes, "Really? What did he do for a living?" "I don't know." "What was his last name?" "I don't know." "Where did he live?" "I have no idea." He asked him all these questions, and the guy had no clue what the guy did or anything about him. He goes, "Well, what made him so interesting?" He goes, "Well, he was really interested in what was going on in my life." It's really that simple. Okay. So take advantage of the fact that people are in a better mood than usual, and reach out. I mean, it all comes back to getting those 10 touches. But I mean, just numbers for a second. I'm glad that that Sharon let me know about your incentive there. The sponsor 3 associates and 3 customers. But I mean, because here's the thing: if you are reaching out to 10 different people a day for 7 days, it's 70 people. You're going to find someone that has a want, need, or desire for Manatech products or business. It's really that simple. Over that week, how many people do you expose to the products, and how many people do you expose to the business? That's the question. And so maybe in the first week of just touching base with people, you're not having that many exposures. But in the second week, your work is going to come to fruition, and you'll begin to get the exposures out of those touches. It's like you don't ask someone to get married on the first date. And that's what we do so often in network marketing. Hey, I haven't talked to you in 5 years, but you interested in making some extra money? I've got a business and da 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 da. Whoa, dude, what? It's like you're just so blasted with like this idea of, you know, there was just nothing in the world that you were expecting that call, right? So the results are probably not going to be very good. But if, especially with, and it's so much easier today with social media, just the ability to reach out to people. And I did, you know, I reached out to 5 people live on a webinar and showed what I would type to each person the other day. And only 2 of those people got back to me. Interesting, right? So I'm not perfect either, but out of those 2, one is a very high likelihood of coming into the business. And then the next day I reached out a few more and got those guys, one sponsored out of that. So just out of that little bit of reaching out. And again, I mean, this really comes back to, it's not a sprint. It's not a sprint with each individual either. Okay. Can be a marathon with some people, but I mean, I know people that just are so good at reaching out to people over a period of time and dripping on them and loving them and making them feel good, that eventually they get signed up. They get rolling because they want to be part of whatever you're doing. It really doesn't matter what it is in some cases. Number, I think we're at number 5. Plan your year. Okay. So, November, December, January, or December, January, December specifically, is a great time to take some solitude, lock yourself in your office, take a few hours and think about, you know, what do you want next year to look like? And I'm a believer in setting high goals and things like that. But then once I've got those goals mentally here, I kind of set them aside to a certain extent and set up what I believe to be a system that will lead me in the direction of those goals. So, like for example, if I want to sponsor 3 associates and 3 customers in the next couple of months, my goal is not to sponsor 3 associates. Well, my goal is to sponsor 3 associates and 3 customers. But that's not my daily activity. My daily activity is not sponsor 3 people today, right? My daily activity is doing those, what I call touches, which is really touching base with people, that leads to exposures, that leads to sponsoring of 3 associates and 3 customers. Okay, so it starts here. And again, I mean, we live in such a unique time. You have access literally without exaggeration to 1 billion people on social media right now, whether it's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, Pinterest. There's There's so much, Instagram, on and on and on. And I'm not saying you have to be like a social media guru. You don't. What you have to do is go through the people that you're friends with and just touch base. It's also called being a good human, right? It's like, if we're friends on Facebook, why are we friends on Facebook if we never interact whatsoever? Okay, so I mean, and here's another really cool thing to do. Just thought of this one, and this is something I believe wholeheartedly. You have a team. Let's say your business is small. You have 3 people, including you. So there's you and 2 people on your team. Okay, 10 touches a day just became 210 touches a week. See the power of leverage? Now, obviously, you're talking, you're gathering the other 2 people so that they can be successful. But in turn, the beautiful thing about network marketing is when you help people become successful, then you become even more successful too. If you have a larger team, I think that we used to call it like phone wars. I think they probably call them text wars now. I don't know if war is the best way to describe, but probably not. We were a bunch of guys back then. But gather your team and maybe you do it online. Maybe you get together and have a potluck and you send out 10 texts a piece and then have fun with it. But I mean, that's how you build a business today. That's how easy it is, literally. Okay, so you go on Facebook and look through your timeline or look through your friends list and pick out 10 people to message, and you message them. Okay? The next day, you go back and or you, of course, respond to any people that responded back to you, and then you pick out 10 more and message them. And then guess what? You're going to be busy in your business. There's literally no excuse today. I mean, I remember like back in the day, we're like, I don't know who to talk to. And my sponsor was like, okay. He literally would call me up to have a counseling session at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. He didn't have a job. I did, but I had to be at work at like 6 o'clock in the morning at the time. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm up at his house counseling. And I said, I've run through my whole warm market list of names. He's like, okay. I said, well, yeah, but what do I do now? He goes, go meet people. Go meet people. This was this guy made millions of dollars, but this was his super in-depth strategy to build $1 million business was go meet people. I mean, if I told you some of the crazy stuff that I would do, you'd laugh. And today, literally, you open up Facebook and it could take you 10 minutes or 15 maximum to knock out 10 touches in a day. Okay. And it can be fun. My gosh, you're interacting with so many different interesting people. And I mean, some will not respond to you. Okay. We don't have to cry. It's all right. I only had 40% of the people that I messaged on that live webinar message me back. Was I a complete failure? No. The next day, I had 40% of the people message me back too. But the 2 that messaged me back the next day were super high quality. One is a 6-figure income earner in network marketing who's looking right now for a new business and is very excited about what we've got to offer at Manatech. Hello. I mean, it's really that simple. Like I said, it's just the work gets rewarded in so many different ways. So that's a long way of saying plan your work and plan what you want to accomplish in the next year, right? Number 6 is up your personal development. Okay. November, December is a good time to begin to get in a better habit of being a better you. Okay. What does that entail? That entails being on every single one of these webinars that you have a chance to get on. You know, Sharon and Gary, and you guys do such a, Karen as well, right? It is Karen, right?
Diana.
Yeah. Oh, Diana, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Sharon and Karen. That doesn't make sense. So Sharon and Diana and Gary do such an amazing job with this webinar, and it's on continuously and so consistent. Get on it every single time. Yeah, every time. And then, you know, like, what are you reading? I find the average, if I have someone say, Ty, I'm working this, but I'm not really seeing any results. My first question is, let me see your calendar. Let me see what you got going on. If there's no appointments in the calendar, then we got an issue, right? I can pinpoint that. But the second thing I'd like, okay, so what are you reading right now? Oh, I don't really read that much. Or here's the problem. We are bombarded with junk on a daily basis. Even if we try to not expose ourselves to the news, we get exposed. It's like a classic computer programming deal. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. Same thing with our brain. The brain is basically one of the most powerful computers in the world, probably the most powerful computer in the world. If you're putting garbage in, there's garbage coming out. The other thing is that when you put garbage in, it stays in. You've got to combat it with positive mental attitude and personal development stuff. You just have to. If you want to lead people, if you want to be someone who empowers others, guess what? You have to be powerful in order to empower others. That makes sense? You got to be powerful if you intend on empowering others. If you want to sell a few products and make a few bucks, it's not that big a deal. If you want a big business, if you want a six-figure income, if you want to lead people, if you want to make an impact on the world, if you want to feed and nourish tens of thousands of children around the world, you better be powerful. What are you putting in here? Reading, webinars like this. Sometimes there's like podcasts and YouTube things that you can gain access to. I've got a friend of mine who's not even a Christian, and listens to, like, there's a station on satellite radio that's all this one Christian pastor, and I said, "What? You're not even a Christian. Why do you always listen to this pastor?" He goes, "He's the most positive person I've ever heard in my entire life." Because I don't need negative junk in my life. I'm out talking to people, and he's in outside sales. I need to be focused and positive all the time. I don't need junk. It's like, so I listen to him all the time. It's really interesting. So put in the right stuff. All of this is meant for two things. Yes, we want to help you earn that incentive. Okay. So I'm thinking, here's what's cool about incentives like this. If you get in the habit of doing the things, the 10 touches and then the exposures, and then that leads to sponsoring and enrolling customers, you're going to find that can be an insane springboard into 2019 to accomplish your goals. But it really just starts with the simplest things. Like someone said, the discipline to do it every single day. But it's not like it used to be. I literally used to get in my car and drive to 10 different gas stations in hopes of meeting 10 people when I'm putting $1 worth of gas in my car at each different stop. This is what I would do. Go to bookstores and hang out in the business section, like, there's a sharp one over there now, like, try to spear him with go to the mall and try to spear myself a winner in the jewelry section. It's just ridiculous things. And today, literally, all we have to do is open up a screen on our phone if you wanted to, and you can do it from anywhere, and shoot off 10 messages. Do it for 3 weeks in a row and see what happens. My guess is if you're not where you want to be, you haven't been that consistent. That's been my problem over the years. When I got super consistent, guess what happened? Things start to fall into place. People came into my life that I would otherwise not even think about wanting to get started in business with me. And they're like, I just don't have the energy that I had at one point. And do you have anything? He goes, a good buddy of mine from high school. I don't really know what you do, but I think I have sort of an idea maybe about what you do, because I've been around full-time since about 2003, so a few years. Because I think I have a little bit of an idea, but I'm not quite sure. But do you have anything that might help with this? He was lacking energy, mental focus, that kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, we got a few things for that specifically. Let me ask you a question. Are you really happy with what's going on at work, or you want to look at maybe getting some income in addition to what that was? And he was like, yeah, they just moved me and I'm not happy there either. I'd love to figure out how to make some more money from home while feeling better. Okay, easy peasy. Let's sit down and grab a cup of coffee and talk. Right? And it's just the consistency, simplicity of it. We overcomplicate this stuff so much. And really all it is firing up our phone and maybe not 10 Facebook messages, maybe it's 5 Facebook messages and 5 texts. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking about you. Hope you're having a great day. I haven't touched base in a long time. Hope all's well. Wow, that's really cool that you thought about me. And these are the messages you get back. And then you just see where they go from there. And again, I'm not pouncing. I'm letting it naturally be a conversation. And then and then eventually they will hint at something that I have a solution for. If they don't hint at it, if they don't say that I have a want, need, or desire for it, then I typically do not let loose with a pitch or or even talk about business whatsoever. Which seems like, wow, so you could send 70 messages and no one's gonna respond with want, need, or desire for business or product? No. It's a statistical impossibility to send out 70 messages, so 10 a day for a week, and not get a response from people who are looking to become more healthy and looking to better their life financially. Okay, so 3 associates and 3 customers. So it literally 1 a month between now and the end of the incentive. Is that what? Now, Sharon, what do they get with 3 and 3?
I don't have it in front of me, but there's a cash, I think, there's $500. I don't know. Dana might have it. Yeah, it's a significant goal that people can achieve.
Fantastic.
There's some criteria, 150 point order and some consistency on the automatic order, but
yeah,
it's moving people to both customers and associates. And I think it's a really well done incentive.
And here's the other piece of that puzzle. So if you do the simple things, which would be reach out to 10 people a day, schedule those exposures, and then you begin to sponsor the people. And then based on, it all comes back to the start, right? You're filling your funnel with people. And then those exposures naturally come as a result of doing that. Here's what's cool. You want a big bump in your results? Earn that incentive and then tell people about the incentive. Whoa, I just earned an extra $500 based on this little incentive that I won, or that I earned. I'd rather say earned than won. Right? And it's just like things like the travel incentives in the US, for example. So there's a presidential summit, which I didn't really know about. I knew about the one in Hawaii, and they kind of changed things. So this year they're going to San Diego, California, so today I woke up and it was 35 degrees. So that would be warm for you.
Great.
Except 35 degrees Fahrenheit is nearly zero for you. And I was like, whoa, what? Zero? No, I don't do the zero. I don't like the zero. It's cloudy. We're in our rainy season. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to go someplace warm. Well, the company is sending us to San Diego for 3 days. But then here's a beautiful thing. I also earned another incentive, which is a cruise. So from San Diego, we get to fly to, I think we take off from Texas, Houston or something like that, and which is another warm spot. I don't know if we're staying there at all, but we take a cruise to Jamaica and Cozumel, Mexico, and Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands. And the thing I remember about the Cayman Islands, there was like TV shows with like, I don't know if it's like James Bond or something like that, but they always seem to put money in the Cayman Islands like it's almost like Switzerland, right? And I'm thinking, do I need to bring a bag of money to put in one of these Cayman Islands accounts or something like that just to feel like I'm at home? But probably not, but you can dream, right? And so just because of through the process of doing those 10 touches a day in the month of January, when it's like 0 degrees and rainy here in Seattle, I get to spend, I think it's 12 days, maybe 13, away from Seattle, all expense paid trip by Manatech. And that's a pretty cool thing. So will I post about that on Facebook? Absolutely. But you think, okay, that's Utah, and maybe haven't earned those kind of trips yet. Well, a $500 post is more exciting if it's like your first post like that than me posting about another trip that I've earned. Because I've been posting about trips for 15 years, right? Not that I'm great. I just put in those 10 touches, but it's the same work, right? It's the exact same work. Only you earn things at a different level once you do it more consistently. Okay, so I'm super excited about your $500 incentive. I challenge each one of you to go after that, and hopefully that helps. If I can be of any help in December, January, I'm sure happy to do it. Of course, we'll be traveling in January, but maybe we can do earn from the Cayman Islands. It might be iffy internet, but I'm sure excited about where. I just hear so many great things about Australasia right now. I know there's a lot of great growth, some really cool stuff happening. I think there's a lot of corners being turned, and I just can't wait to see what comes out of that area. Of course, Manifest, and see as many of you at Manifest as well too. So thank you, Sharon, so much for putting this on, and Gary and Diana, we appreciate all the work that you guys do, and just so valuable to your teams and to just the greater good of the Manatech field. So appreciate that.
Yeah, we're very blessed in our region here in Australasia. We've got a great community, and it is a blessing and a privilege to be able to host this call and be inspired and supported and educated and connected. This is a high touch call for us all to come together every week. So, Ty, God bless you.
Thank you so much.
I think that's given everybody some actual easy to implement strategies for the next couple of months. And let's see what we can all do at our convention in February. So, Ty, have a great Friday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And by the way, thank you so much for letting me know the time change. I was expecting 2 hours later for some crazy reason. So I'm glad you
that was the last time. Yeah. And apologies. one of the reasons we had a bit of a slow start here today is because I sent out Dr. Nugent link instead of this link. So apologies to anybody who got stuck in that. And luckily it'll be recorded and you can catch up on the beginning. So Ty, thank you so very much. Have a great weekend.
You
And
got
same
it.
to all of you. See you, everybody.
Take care, everybody.